Winter, 1943. A city lies in ruins. Snow falls on broken buildings and frozen bodies. Soon, a German army of over 250,000 men will vanish. This is the story of how one battle broke the myth of Hitler's power. This is the story of Stalingrad. For 2 years, the German army had seemed impossible to stop. It had crushed Poland in a matter of weeks. It had rolled through France in a single summer. It had pushed deep into the Soviet Union, capturing millions of prisoners along the way. Many people believed the German war machine could not be beaten. Stalingrad would prove them wrong. What began as one more German advance would turn into the costliest defeat in the history of the German military, a defeat so complete that it changed the direction of the entire war. By the summer of 1942, Hitler's war machine needs fuel. Germany has almost no oil of its own. Every tank, every plane, every truck depends on oil brought in from far away. Hitler looks east, to the oil fields of the Caucasus Mountains. To reach them, his armies must first cross the flat, open land near a city on the Volga River. That city is Stalingrad. The name alone makes it a target. It carries the name of Hitler's enemy, Joseph Stalin. Taking it would be more than a military win. It would be a blow to Soviet pride. Stalingrad is also a working city. Its factories build tanks and guns for the Red Army. Whoever holds it controls a key route south and a key source of Soviet weapons. In August 1942, German bombers fill the sky over Stalingrad. Wave after wave of planes drop bombs on the city. Fires spread through wooden houses. Thousands of civilians die in a single day. Much of the city is reduced to smoking rubble before a single German soldier sets foot inside it. Hitler calls this summer offensive Operation Blue. On paper, the plan is bold but simple. One large German force will push south into the Caucasus to seize the oil fields. A second force will guard its flank by advancing toward the Volga River and taking Stalingrad along the way. At first, everything goes as planned. German tanks race across the open steppe, covering huge distances with little resistance. Soviet forces retreat in disorder, and it looks as though this summer will end the war in the East once and for all. But Hitler makes a fateful choice. Instead of treating Stalingrad as a side objective, he grows fixed on capturing the city itself. He splits his forces, sending some troops toward the oil fields and diverting others, along with the powerful Sixth Army, directly at Stalingrad. What was meant to be a supporting move becomes the main event. The Sixth Army is one of the strongest forces in the German military, made up of about 250,000 men, backed by hundreds of tanks and aircraft. Its commander, General Friedrich Paulus, is confident that the city will fall quickly. He has good reason for that confidence. Nothing in the war so far has stopped the German army from taking a city it truly wanted. German troops push into Stalingrad, expecting a quick victory. Instead, they find something new, a battle fought street by street, house by house, room by room. Soviet soldiers hide in wrecked buildings. They fight from basements and stairwells. Sometimes two armies hold different floors of the same building at the same time. German soldiers give this brutal close-up fighting a grim nickname, the Rat War. Every ruined factory becomes a fortress. Every pile of rubble becomes a trap. Snipers on both sides pick off soldiers who show themselves for even a second. One Soviet sniper alone is said to have killed hundreds of German troops. Some of the fiercest fighting happens around a grain elevator on the edge of the city. Soviet troops hold the tall concrete building for days against constant German attacks, fighting in choking dust and smoke with almost no food or water. Nearby, a 4-story apartment building becomes another famous battleground. A small group of Soviet soldiers turns it into a fortress, holding it for nearly 2 months against everything the Germans throw at them. Later, it becomes known simply as the House That Would Not Fall. Soviet commander Vasily Chuikov leads the defense of the city with a simple, brutal strategy. He orders his men to stay as close to the German lines as possible, sometimes just a few yards away. This way, German bombers and artillery cannot strike Soviet positions without risking their own troops. It is a strategy built for one purpose: survival, one block at a time. Behind the front line, Soviet reinforcements cross the Volga River under constant German fire. Boats and barges ferry fresh troops into the city each night. Many are killed before they ever reach the shore. Still more keep coming. By November, the Germans control most of the city. Some reports say 90% of Stalingrad has fallen. Hitler tells the German people that victory is near, and back in Berlin, newspapers celebrate the coming fall of the city. But the Red Army has not given up. In fact, it is planning something far bigger than a defense of one city. While German troops fight for every last building in Stalingrad, Soviet commanders quietly gather fresh troops, tanks, and artillery far to the north and south of the city. The German lines guarding the flanks are weak. They are held mostly by troops from Germany's allies, who lack the tanks and weapons of the main German army. On November 19, 1942, the Red Army strikes. Soviet tanks smash through the weak flanks north and south of Stalingrad. Within days, two Soviet forces meet near the town of Kalak on the Don River. The trap is shut. Around 250,000 German and Allied soldiers are now surrounded inside and around Stalingrad. The hunters have become the hunted. Soviet planners had been preparing this counterattack for weeks under strict secrecy. They call it Operation Uranus. While the world's attention stayed fixed on the house-to-house fighting inside the city, fresh Soviet divisions moved into position under cover of darkness, far from German scouts and spy planes. It is one of the best-kept secrets of the entire war, and it catches the German command completely by surprise. German generals quickly understand the danger. Some urge Hitler to allow the Sixth Army to break out of the pocket while there's still a chance to escape. General Paulus and his staff know that a fast retreat west, before Soviet forces can tighten their grip, may be their only hope of saving the army. But Hitler has other ideas. Inside the pocket, conditions grow desperate. Supplies of food, fuel, and ammunition begin to run short. Hitler orders the Luftwaffe to supply the trapped army by air. But German planes cannot deliver nearly enough. Soldiers begin to starve. Then comes the Russian winter. Temperatures fall far below freezing. Soldiers suffer frostbite. Some freeze to death at their posts, still standing, still holding their rifles. General Friedrich Paulus, commander of the trapped Sixth Army, asks Hitler for permission to break out and retreat. Hitler refuses. He orders his men to hold their ground and fight to the last bullet. He even promotes Paulus to field marshal, reminding him that no German officer of that rank has ever surrendered. Hitler declares that Stalingrad is now a fortress that must be held at any cost. He believes the Luftwaffe can keep the trapped army supplied by air until help arrives. Field Marshal Hermann Göring, head of the German Air Force, promises Hitler that his planes can deliver everything the Sixth Army needs. It is a promise the Luftwaffe cannot keep. Bad weather, long distances, and heavy Soviet air defenses mean only a fraction of the needed supplies ever reach the trapped soldiers. Hitler also orders a rescue mission. A separate German force, commanded by Field Marshal Erich von Manstein, attempts to fight its way through Soviet lines to reach the encircled Sixth Army and open an escape corridor. For a brief moment in December, Manstein's tanks close to within about 30 miles of the pocket, but Paulus, bound by Hitler's order to hold his position, does not break out to meet them. Soviet forces soon push Manstein's relief force back, and the last real chance of saving the Sixth Army disappears. Inside the pocket, conditions grow steadily worse. Horses are slaughtered for meat. Soldiers boil leather and melt snow for water. Disease spreads quickly through the crowded, freezing ruins. Soviet loudspeakers broadcast messages into German lines, urging the surrounded soldiers to surrender while they still can. Some do. Most, bound by discipline and fear, stay at their posts. But by late January 1943, the German position has completely collapsed. Ammunition is gone. Food is gone. Thousands of wounded men lie in makeshift hospitals with no medicine,
no heat, and little hope of survival. On January 31st, 1943, Paulus makes his choice. He surrenders to Soviet forces, defying Hitler's order to fight to the death. 2 days later, the last German troops in Stalingrad laid down their weapons. Around 90,000 starving, frost-bitten German soldiers are taken prisoner. Most will never see their homes again. Years of hunger and hard labor in Soviet camps will claim most of their lives. Fewer than 6,000 will ever return to Germany. In total, the battle costs the Axis powers roughly 250,000 soldiers, killed, wounded, or captured. It is the largest single defeat the German army has ever suffered. News of the surrender stuns Germany. For years, the government has told its people that victory is only a matter of time. Now, for the first time, the truth is impossible to hide. An entire German army has been wiped out. For Hitler, the defeat is a personal humiliation. He rages that Paulus should have taken his own life rather than surrender. But no amount of anger can undo what has happened. For the Soviet Union, Stalingrad is proof that the German army can be beaten. Soviet forces go on the attack, and they do not stop. Over the next 2 years, the Red Army pushes German forces back across Russia, through Eastern Europe, and finally into Germany itself. The defeat also shakes Germany's allies. Nations that had joined Hitler's campaign against the Soviet Union begin to question whether the war can still be won. Some start quietly looking for a way out of the alliance. Germany's grip over occupied Europe, once seen as unshakable, begins to loosen. Inside Germany, the government tries to turn the disaster into a story of heroic sacrifice, declaring days of mourning and honoring the trapped soldiers as martyrs. But privately, confidence in Hitler's leadership starts to crack. For the first time, many Germans begin to wonder if the war might actually be lost. Historians still call Stalingrad one of the true turning points of World War II. It is the battle where Hitler's dream of an unstoppable army dies in the snow and the ruins of a single city on the Volga. Never again would German forces hold the same level of initiative on the Eastern Front. From this point forward, it was the Soviet Union that dictated the pace of the war, and it never let go. The Sixth Army marched into Stalingrad as one of the most powerful forces in the world. It marched out as prisoners, if it marched out at all. In the ashes of that city, the balance of the war shifted for good, and Adolf Hitler's greatest military disaster was written into history.